Welcome to the Pleasure Potential Workshop for Women, where we'll discuss how lots of women feeling broken, feeling that something is wrong with them, and how in fact they can experience lots of pleasure. I'm Victoria, an intimacy coach and the founder of Foreplay Academy, and I'll be your guide in the world of pleasure. As an intimacy coach, I do a lot of individual couples coaching and workshops. And workshop after workshop, I hear these things from women. I don't feel desire. Something's wrong with me. Why I don't want sex. Let's dive into this and uncover why not wanting sex is absolutely natural for a woman. Second, I'm faking it. The research says that 55 to 65% of women fake regularly. And here is for me the question of self-love and whose pleasure we prioritize. If I love myself, I'm here to satisfy my needs, to bring the best life, to bring the most joy I can to myself. So faking is still a big problem. And for me, I have a joke that I like to say. If you don't want to stop faking for yourself, why don't you stop faking for other women who will have sex with your current partner after you? Just do it for the benefit of other women, because what is happening, we are creating a vicious cycle where so many women fake. When a man gets a woman that is honest about how her desire and how her pleasure works, woman is telling her, well, all other women before you were happy, something is wrong with you. And the cycle continues. So there is a little bit of honesty and honest communication. And this is also one of the issues why couples come to intimacy coach, how to unravel the faking and lies and get to the surface real pleasure. And one more food for thought, there is no quality without equality. There is no real pleasure, even for men, without having female pleasure. Pleasure is an energy wave. One partner experiences pleasure, another partner, and all this goes up. When there is no pleasure of another partner, it all becomes a half experience. It all becomes mediocre. That is my personal opinion. So another problem that we find, like, we are here in our heads, men and women including. It's called spectatoring. We're not present in the body. So if you think about sex, sex is mental and physical. In our mind decides how we perceive sensations. And the same touch can be perceived as erotic and sexual and pleasurable, or it can be perceived as unpleasant, depending on the context. So our mind needs to be involved, but also our body and sensation. If we're not in the body, whatever happens, the pleasure will not arrive. The fourth issue is a lot of women condition their body to have just one, I call it pleasure pathway. So we can orgasm with a toy on our own, and that is the most efficient way for us to orgasm. But we don't uncover other ways our body can orgasm. And it's more difficult for us with partner to orgasm. Let's look into it. And let's look in general how our body works and how we can ask for things that we want. And I always do my workshop with a caveat. I'm here in not giving you intimacy coaching. I'm giving you information. And I structured this workshop with the mindset, if a friend of mine comes to me with these questions, what would I tell her? How would I help a friend to overcome or to start unraveling, start moving towards the pleasure? But your pleasure is your responsibility, as we will learn, and you are unique. So please, from everything I'm saying, absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. You are unique, and you deserve unique intimacy. I hope you are here because you realize the relationship blueprint as we know it, the monogamy, the happy until we die framework is just not working. The fairy tale that we all were sold is not the reality. So people are coming up with different approaches to intimacy, opening relationship or doing ethical non-monogamy or rethinking how they manage the household. And this is one of the frameworks that I like to use during my coaching. Intentional intimacy, intimacy your way. You are unique, your partner is unique. Why don't you create something that is unique? Why don't you create something that is focused on pleasure, joy, fulfillment? And sadly, as humans, we're really bad at predicting what we would like, career-wise, food-wise, vacation-wise, and sexually-wise. So many couples come to me after unsuccessful threesomes. That threesome or orgy is the first, most popular fantasy. And in the mind, it feels so appealing, but in the reality, it can be quite traumatic. So the only way for us to know what we like is to try it. We try it, we learn about ourselves, we communicate with our partner, we repair if experience was bad. And we continue experimenting. Same as you do with your fitness, same as you do with your food. And I would like to think about intimacy coaching as personal trainer for your intimate life, because you deserve to be happy. So, why do I talk about pleasure and not desire? First of all, every woman has heard or had thought once in her lifetime that something is wrong with her desire, that her libido is gone, that she doesn't have that vibrant energy. And I find that it's becoming like a heavy burden on our shoulders. When in fact, instead of looking at the desire, we can look at the pleasure, because we desire things that are pleasurable. And our brain subconsciously prioritizing things that are pleasurable for us. So instead of getting stuck thinking, oh, something is wrong with my desire, why don't we focus all our attention of how can I get more pleasure? And then desire will follow. Desire will be byproduct. And when I talk about pleasure, I see lots of people creating narratives about different behavior of their partner or different things. For example, the person can say, my partner doesn't have passion for me. It means they don't love me. I'm like, whoa. Like, what is passion? How it is? What is chemically? What is the link? Or people say, my wife doesn't initiate sex, meaning she doesn't want me. She doesn't love me. I'm like, that is a narrative that is so heavy. And if we were to talk about sex with our partners, we will just uncover that it's all false. So I say to couples, it's not about how much passion, it's not how often, it's not how hard, how wet, how much you look. It doesn't matter. We have sex because of two things, connection and pleasure. The majority of sex is connecting. So let's focus on pleasure. How can I get the most of this experience and reconnect to my partner, rather than worrying and creating false narratives about what sex means? And I honestly believe that your pleasure is your responsibility. You can't just come to the partner and say, dear partner, make me happy, give me pleasure, give me fulfillment. You own your life. And to start, I would like to suggest a small meditation. If you're watching this recording, I hope you will have 3-minute meditation, very short. And that is a meditation that will guide you in the world of pleasure. Just find a comfortable position. Relax your shoulders, relax your arms, close your eyes. And please find a comfortable position for your feet. Your feet on the ground. Feel completely present in your body. Start by observing your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. If you feel any tension in your body, just relax. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders. Just connect with your beautiful, healthy, abundant body. Now bring your awareness to the idea of receiving pleasure. Physical, emotional, sexual. Notice what feelings arise in your body when you say to yourself, I deserve pleasure. I own my pleasure. I want to experience more pleasure. I'm capable of feeling more pleasure and more sensations in my body. I'm allowed to receive. Pleasure nourishes me and makes me more whole. My pleasure is my gift to the world. Do any voices, doubts, tension, or shame appear? What do they say? Just listen to your thoughts, observe emotions and feelings. Witness them with curiosity. And whenever you feel ready, just open your eyes. Thank you so much for this short practice. So, we limit how much pleasure we can receive. We do it absolutely unconsciously because we were told for centuries, generations, and now parents told us that pleasure is dangerous. Pleasure is not something that we can indulge in. We are not in control of our body when we experience erotic pleasure. And there is a limitation of how much pleasure we allow ourselves to receive. And remember, pleasure is your mind reading the sensations of your body that the body experiences through senses and then classifies them and allows more or less of them. So what limits your pleasure is your limiting beliefs. If you think that you are multi-orgasmic, liberated, sexual woman, that will happen. If you think the opposite, that also will happen. Our limiting beliefs, they work like a filter to the pleasure. Second, shame. I haven't met a woman without shame. And that is really, really sad. Women feel ashamed to being powerful, liberated, and sexual. And at the same time, they feel ashamed for being not liberated enough. They feel ashamed for liking sex, and they feel ashamed that they can't really open up in sex. Shame is everywhere. So if any shame came up to you during that meditation, just talk to your shame and say, what exactly you're ashamed about? Tell me more. Be curious about your shame. And the third one is pressure. Some pressure is created by society, some pressure is created by us. Pressure to look in a particular way, pressure to orgasm within a particular framework, pressure to be wet for men, it's pressure to be hard, pressure to sound in a particular way. Why do we have sex? Again, it's pleasure, it's playful. The second observation about pleasure, that there is this desire-pleasure loop. We desire things that bring us pleasure. The more pleasure we experience, the more we will desire sex. So pleasure can be the ultimate focus, the ultimate intention of a sexual activity. But also pleasure is a life skill, habit, and muscle. The more pleasure we have, the more we want. The more pleasure we experience, the more we get in the mood. And I hope everyone experienced that. When you fall in love and you start having that incredible, passionate, dopamine-boosted sex, you want more and more and more. It becomes almost like, how on earth I lived without all that pleasure in my life? And the mindset is really important. I deserve pleasure. I don't need to earn pleasure. I don't need to be efficient with pleasure. A lot of career-focused women, they're so efficient with pleasure. I can just allow, receive, be, enjoy pleasure. And by the way, the brain doesn't compartmentalize sexual and non-sexual pleasure. If in general you allow more pleasure in your life from food, from fitness, from dancing, from moving your body, from sex, your mind starts learning, oh, there is pleasure. I like it, and opens up to more pleasure. I would like to suggest you a simple, very powerful framework that you can use during sex. So intention has power. Before starting sex, or when you're close to orgasm, you say, what is my intention here? I'm here to receive pleasure, receive and give. And when you're very close to orgasming, what you can say to yourself, I want to experience more. I deserve more. I'm capable of more. Give me more. And see how your body responds. Almost give yourself permission to receive. I had a client, a very curious senior woman, and I told her about this practice, and she was so skeptical. She was literally looking at me like, oh, really? You want me to do it? I'm like, can you try it? And then she messaged me saying, oh my God, I was so skeptical, but it really, somehow magically it worked. It's not magic. It's neuroscience, it's NLP, it's you allowing yourself. By the way, the first thing that clients come to intimacy coaching, it's for permission. Permission to embrace kinks, permission to fantasize and try fantasies, permission to get more pleasure. So you get my permission to have much more pleasure than you allowed yourself. And by the way, you can also start solo playing. What is the level of orgasm that you're getting? Because female orgasm is not, this is male orgasm. Female orgasm is like, it's a wave. Do you allow that wave to happen? Yes or no? Embrace the wave. Although we're talking about pleasure, I can't just not talk about responsive desire, because that is the first thing that women feel so, wow, how on earth I haven't heard about it. And it is sad that we didn't. Not wanting sex for a woman is absolutely normal, because we were all educated and we know about spontaneous desire. When you, out of the blue, want sex, spontaneous desire happens in men, and it happens in women during ovulation. Look how smart is nature. The nature created spontaneous desire to make us have sex when we can have babies. But are we now having sex for reproduction? No. It's a completely different sex. We're having sex for pleasure, joy, connection. The majority of women have responsive desire, and I'm very upset with sex scientists. Why did they call it desire? Because it's not a desire. Responsive desire is absence of desire. And I like to call it desire response, meaning if something sexy happens, you will get desire. But by default, there is no desire in women. Not wanting sex is absolutely normal. And sometimes I coached recently a gay couple, and one of the partners had responsive desire. So it also happens in men. And sometimes when particularly men are very stressed out or have intellectual work or work long hours, they also can switch into responsive desire. So responsive desire is a response. Just pause the video for 5 seconds. Read these questions. If you say yes to 5 or more of these statements, you have responsive, what sexology calls responsive desire, what I call you just don't have desire, and it's natural and normal. So, how do one woman, when I asked her, how does she feel when her partner approaches her, she said to me, I feel meh. I'm like, I think meh, it's really good. It feels flat and neutral. It's a neutral gearbox. I could have sex. I don't mind. Maybe, but I'm kind of, it's not like you want, it's not want. It's not pull. It's just flat. So responsive desire might sound is almost being receptive to the idea that you might enjoy sex and you will find it very fulfilling without having that want at the beginning. And I also like to have this analogy with fitness. Sometimes you go to the gym and you're like, I'm not sure I don't want, but you just go. But after the gym, you're like, oh, that felt good. And you feel good about yourself. And all the hormones make the job. So it's similar. So what is the right question to ask? Do I want to have sex? It's a wrong question. The answer is no, you don't. This is how it feels. It feels flat. You don't. So when your partner says, do you want to have sex? You're like, do I want to have sex? No. The right question is, am I open to seeing if I get turned on? Am I open to receiving pleasure? Am I open to engaging in something sexual? That is the right question to ask with people with responsive desires. So responsive desire is start having sex to feel turned on, but also really important to understand responsive desire, women and men need emotional connection to feel open for physical intimacy. And here the issue is happening in the couple because spontaneous desire partner needs physical intimacy to feel emotionally connected. And if people are not aware of this dynamic, catch-22, they're just running. I want sex to feel connected. I want connection to feel sex. And the pleasure, there is no room for pleasure here because you're just stuck in catch-22. Just say yes. Just lean in. I don't say have sex when you absolutely feel you don't want it. It's different. When you feel flat, neutral, just give it a go and allow for more pleasure to appear. And then the more pleasure you have, the more your brain will say, oh, last time I had it, I was really pleasurable. Let's do it again. Get in the mood. Sex is a headspace and desire is a product of my decision to go looking for it. It's almost like a little bit of mental work needs to happen for a woman to say yes to sex. Here are some advice of what responsive partner can do. It's definitely talk about it. Explore your turn-ons and turn-offs. Focus on emotional connection. Initiate sex when you feel flat. Yeah, just for the sake of restarting your desire cycle. I do believe for some couples, again, all these are experiments that you can run. Scheduling intimacy for some couples works amazingly well. Having an intimacy ritual to connect with your erotic self. Because we're so much into our brains, we're never in our body. Mindfulness, foreplay, having different rituals that create bonding. Because if you need emotional intimacy to want physical, everything that fosters closeness is important. And talk about sex. Talking about sex is very sexy. It's very connecting. So I hope more couples will be talking and doing. A quick one on how we women get pleasure. Our organ of pleasure is clitoris. The same as for men is the head of a penis. And ignoring it is just doesn't make sense, but it's still happening. And the more research are coming, some research are saying 1% of women are able to orgasm only for penetration. Then there is a research saying the distance between clitoral glands and vaginal opening, this is what defines. If the distance is too small, women are orgasming from penetration, but in fact, there is a clitoral stimulation that is happening. Another theory is that clitoral tissues are deep internal, and when there is penetration from, it also massages clitoral tissue and brings a pleasure. There is another theory that also says that you need a foreplay, because foreplay, 15-20 minutes of foreplay the woman needs. Engorges with blood the tissue, and tissue becomes more sensitive. So Sadly, the sex science is not giving us real answers. We have to try it. But the fishbone structure of clitoris, saying that there is clitoral glands, but also there are bulbs and there is an internal structure, was discovered literally 25 years ago. And that information wasn't popularized. Our clitoral structure has 10,000 nerve endings, 2.5 times more than a penis. So we need clitoral stimulation. And 78% of problems are due to not having enough or right kind of stimulation. And the solution is simple. Let's embrace it. This is how we get pleasure. And there are so many ways of stimulating our clitoris, right? And playing and talking and touching and licking and sucking. It's all there. But ignoring clitoris is just like ignoring penis during sex. You can have a lot of desire or mastering desire. You can have the right stimulation, but if no one is home, if no one is in the body, the pleasure will not be there. So true pleasure requires presence, and there are so many terms you have heard: mindfulness, pleasure, presence, embodiment, body awareness. The science call it interoception. So for me, mindfulness is being aware of three things: my thoughts, my feelings, my body. Embodiment is being in the body and being connected to the body, feeling the sensation of the body. Mindfulness for me is slightly a higher level skill because it requires almost focus on what am I thinking, what am I feeling, what are my sensations, three-tiered approach. But research finally says to us that interoception, is how they call it, is associated with orgasm frequency and satisfaction in women. Tantra has been telling us this for centuries, but now we have a research. Mindfulness, being aware of body sensations, emotions, and thoughts. Spectatoring, being here, thinking about actions, laundry, kids, fitness, things you forgot. The brain can sometimes be in this wired state, and it's so difficult to pull your awareness back to touch, to kiss, to sensation of the body. I would like to suggest the easiest practice to bring your awareness back into the body. And I'm a Tantra master, I love Tantra. One disadvantage of tantric practices, they're long. This practice, imagine you're having sex and you catch yourself that you're not in your body, you're here thinking. You're wired, you're a little bit intellectually overwhelmed. What can you do? The practice is very simple, and bear with me. You take a deep breath via nose or mouth. If you want more energy, you can do it via your mouth. And you exhale with a sound. Any sound. Don't be self-conscious. Let's do it together. And here, I want to start with a small self-awareness. Like if you were now to ask yourself two questions. How much erotic energy do I feel now? How erotic do I feel? I don't want to use the word arouse because you're like, oh, how weird. I find you can find this workshop arousing. We're talking about sex. It's arousing, mentally arousing. So let's start with a small self-awareness, like how much erotic arousal energy do you feel in your body now? It can be 3, 4. Just give it a number from 1 to 10. The second question is, how present am I in my body? Also try to give a number from 1 to 10. Now all we're going to do is 6 breaths. 6 breaths together, releasing any sound. You can try you can try O, E, M, U, whatever works for you. Whatever comes naturally. Let's do 6 breaths and then reevaluate how we feel. Breathe in. Ah. Breathe in. Ah. 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 If it felt awkward, think how awkward it is for me to do to do it during recording. I love doing it when I have a face-to-face workshop because it builds up the energy. But now reconnect with your body. Ask the same two questions. How much erotic energy do I feel? Where do I feel that erotic energy? And second, how present am I in my body? A lot of women are telling me that they feel that the energy is somewhere here or in the tummy, because our energy are normally in our genital area. When we do that breath with sound, the energy rises. We can experience more full body sensations. And definitely having the sound and the breath gets you from your mind into your body. Sound amplifies pleasure. And if you want, the whole formula is movement, breath, and sound. Movement, breath, and sound. This is what will amplify your pleasure. So, you're having sex with your partner, you and your head. All you have to do is 5-6 breaths with a sound. And if it's your existing partner, it might be slightly weird at the beginning. But that is a practice that definitely is working. Vocalization was considered to be sexy, and a lot of women would do it for men because it's sexy, it's like porn kind of sex. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about sound and breath that helps you connect to your body, helps you experience more of erotic energy. And byproduct of that, I mean, your man might enjoy it too, but it's only byproduct. That is the easiest practice, the easiest exercise I have found for women and men. It works for men too, to reconnect with the body. And there is a new research explaining it, because the sound apparently regulates and impacts vagus nerve and calms down nervous system and allows us to be more present in the body. So breath for sound, easy way to feel pleasure. I want to talk a little bit about pleasure pathways. I'm getting asked a lot, particularly by single women who tell me, I'm single, I'm using a toy, I'm concerned that when I have a partner, I won't be able to orgasm. Let's look into it. When we learn how to orgasm, we create a pathway, a pleasure pathway, and we train our brain to recognize the pathway to orgasm. The train is normally, your brain is normally saying, oh, there is a vibration. You're playing with your clit. Orgasm is coming. So then there is just one pleasure pathway, and this is the only way for your body to get pleasure. If you want to say, oh, now I want to get pleasure from manual stimulation, or from penetration, or from anal sex, or from other types of plays, you need to retrain your brain and your body to experience that pleasure. And the way you can do it is by adding new stimulation. So you continue using vibrator, but adding also penetration or adding another activity. And here is the example of nipple orgasm, because you can train yourself to experience nipples orgasm. You have your toy, you have nipples. So the brain starts recognizing there is a nipple and clit together, it means orgasm. And with time, you decouple. You keep less and less of the toy and more of a nipple stimulation, and the brain relearns a new pleasure pathway. How can it work, for example, for men? A lot of men, if they used to masturbate, they really like hand job, and this is the way for them to orgasm. They can also still have sex with a partner, but use a little bit of hand job and of their hand stimulation. And with time, it can be the hand of the partner, less hand, more penetration, or less hand, more oral sex, until a new pathway is established. This is a very powerful technique to create orgasmic abundances. So if you playing currently with a toy, try different toys. Try hand. Try penetrate G-spot and vaginal stimulation. Try anal stimulation. Try different pathways so your body knows, wow, there are so many ways I can experience pleasure, rather than getting stuck on one way. I hope it was helpful. Thank you for spending this digital time with me. If you have any questions, I leave my email. And if you would like to have a discovery session or discuss any intimacy challenges or opportunities to get more out of your body, mind, and soul, let me know. Thank you.